Hey everybody, welcome back. David Eon and the absolutely stunning Miss Lady Pop Hunter here with a big box from Sideshow. And some of you may have been wondering, yes, this is the Bela Lugosi, because they've been asking us about it. Took a couple of hits in shipping, but that's UPS for you.
Yeah.
Could have been worse, believe me, because we've had some real nightmares as we're opening this up for the first time. People have been asking us, hey, why don't you have your Bela Lugosi, because this person and that person already reviewed it. Well, it just came today.
Yeah.
On Friday the 30th. No, we're not
one of the
we're not the privileged
stuff.
like that song, you know, I'm not the fortunate one, I'm not no senator's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. And
We're
this
not
is
no
what's in
big
here.
brand name YouTube
A
channel.
lot of paper, but
It
just
protected the
as
box.
well, yes indeed, it did protect the box, and here you go.
Infinite Statue and Collectible. So Infinite Studios.
Infinite Studios 1/6 scale action figure, not a statue. And this is the deluxe version, is it not?
Yeah. Is that his signature on the side? Turn to the side.
Yep, Bela
Yep.
Lugosi's simulated autograph there, courtesy of the family who sold his rights, because his image is popping up everywhere now.
Yeah.
And there it says Deluxe 1/6 scale figure. And that is important because there is a significant difference between the two. And if you're able to, always go for the deluxe one. Usually it's not that big of a price difference.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's like, oh, the difference between the regular and the deluxe statue is literally like $15 or something.
Yeah.
You know, this was a little more, but
I know Hot Toys get out of control sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they'll give you a whole nother figure or some kind of like platform.
yeah,
or
usually
diorama.
usually it's a stand or
Yeah. Also, it's no
It's actually
box,
kinda
not
heavy.
unless there's a box inside of it.
yeah, we're
Because
gonna
I was
find
hoping
out.
for a box with a like a picture,
Some kind of art.
artwork.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, you get what you get.
We'll see. So it might be in here. Box it. Oh,
Okay, good. Yeah, box.
something going on here. Let's see what this is. This,
Okay.
I guess that's a figure. It's just a smoke.
Remove this other box and then
Yes.
thanks.
I'll take the plastic off. It looks like it's just smoke and bats. That's they skimped.
Yeah.
They skimped on the box art. You know who has really excellent box art?
Who?
Mondo.
Mondo does.
Mondo does have exceptional box art. Is that a sleeve or is it a...
It kind of want to look like a sleeve.
I don't think it is. I mean, or is it? It looks like it wants to be a sleeve, but it doesn't want to shift either.
Oh, I see what it is. It looks like it flaps out on you.
Yeah, but also look here.
Oh, yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it a sleeve and it's just... Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's just...
Now it's coming.
Oh, it's a window.
That's in there tight. God.
Okay, it's a window.
Don't want to damage it because there's a lot going on here. Bela Lugosi window box, and of course we'll be opening this up and taking a look at him and testing his articulation. And I don't know how well you can see that with all the glare.
Glare's kind of rough, so we'll take it out and then get a good look.
We'll open this one up as well. You can put this with your custom Barnabas Collins.
Yeah, that's really why I wanted to go.
And the huge, very heavy box
Ooh,
that
now that has some artwork.
actually has some freaking artwork.
Now that looks good. That looks like you just want to put that up.
Yeah, this is the deluxe piece, Dracula's
that's
Coffin, and this is actually heavy.
Polystone accessory.
So the coffin's polystone?
That's what it says on the side.
Let's go ahead and get this out, because this would be easier to work with, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
That is the coffin.
This is not simulated wood or anything. This is polystone. This thing feels like it weighs about 5 or 6 pounds.
Oh, okay. And it has a little lining, little satin lining.
No, it's
Oh.
that's plastic. Sorry. The inside is plastic.
It looks like actual fabric.
This is polystone. It's hard as a brick. This feels like plastic inside.
Okay.
And then there's felt on the bottom here.
I thought it was D for Dracula.
D for Dracula. Don't drop this. This will shatter. But this is actually pretty heavy. You could do some curls with that. But we're gonna set this back here. I don't know about standing that up.
No, just lay it down.
I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think we can stand that up. So we're just gonna set it right there, and then we will go ahead and start pulling out Dracula. The Bela Lugosi Dracula, good actor with a unique voice, who got typecast, and it became more and more difficult for him to get decent parts. There's a little backdrop in there. Over the years, because as you know, his very last film performance, the movie that he was working on when he died, was Plan 9 from Outer Space.
What was it? Either Rift Track or
I'm sure.
Mystery
I know.
Science.
Yeah,
did
they've done it. They've done it definitely.
Yeah, you gotta watch it when they do it, because they help bring that movie out, because that movie was ridiculous.
He died during the filming of it. It must have had a budget of like $50. This film. I know it's exaggeration, but still. And then he died halfway through it, and they swapped him out for some guy who was like 1.5 feet taller.
And then he would cover his face.
Yeah.
The stand-in would cover his face up, and the guy was obviously bigger.
Yeah.
You could tell. It was just crazy, and they did like the same scene. It seems like over and over.
Yeah.
Him walking in and out of the cemetery. But anyway.
We'll cut away here.
Okay.
So that we can take him out, and we'll get him on the Lazy Susan and spin him around and look at the accessories, and then we'll test his articulation. We are back with our 1/6 scale Bela Lugosi Dracula out of the container. And there's some interesting things to note with this. I'll go ahead and show you just for the point of reference here that he is roughly 11 3/4 inches, it looks like. So proper 1/6 scale. And we'll get a close-up look at Mr. Lugosi, the Dracula here. And they got a good shine on his eyes. His eyes almost look like they're glass or they're inset. The hair is very slick, though. The hair, I think they could have done a better job on the hair, but they're probably, translating from black and white. But the facial detail is really good. And I have not had a chance yet to get a close look at the costuming to see how detailed the costuming is. It looks good, but I want to touch it. The cape was really well detailed. The cape is heavy. Of course, he has 2 head sculpts and multiple hands, and his only accessory outside of the coffin is a candlestick. But you see what I mean about how like flat black the hair is, and when you close up right here, now you can see the seam on the head. I don't get too close, but you can see the seam on the head, and I think that's kind of a drawback. The face sculpt, the ears and everything, even the little 5 o'clock shadow in there is really well done. And the hands appear to have good detail, but we will see for sure once we pick him up. taking a look at his back here. And again, just really flat, glossy hair. I think they could have done a little bit better with the hair. I just can't let it go. But that's okay. Because the whole point here is to critique it. And you spend all kinds of money on this stuff. And you want an honest opinion, I think. Notice that there's nothing connected to him on the stand. So there's no piece going up between his legs or no piece coming up around his back. That is because the stand is magnetized and he has filaments in his feet. So he literally attaches right to the stand with his feet. And there's that seam again. You can see it going right from the center of the top of his ear and around his head. I think they could have done a better job disguising that. Otherwise, the facial sculpt is pretty decent. There's his ring. You need a ring hand for your Barnabas.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only thing that's holding her back is she wants that ring and that cane. It's wanting to, there we go. I was wanting to focus on those hands that were laying down there. It's not time to look at that yet. Look at that in a moment. And we'll pull his accessories up here. There's a little bag here, and it's got a couple of replacement wrists as well as a replacement neck plug. I don't know how well, there we go. Make sure that comes into focus. Some hand accessories. That big ruby ring. Nice painting and detail on the hands. I can see the fingernails, and the fingernails, I don't know how well that's translating, actually have a shine to them, whereas the rest of the skin is dull. So you can definitely tell that they are fingernails. That's a really good detail. You can really see it right there. So they did a good job on the hand sculpts. You can see the veins and the tendons. And make sure that's in focus. But you have several sets of hand options. Some like reaching or hypnotizing hands. It's going to hypnotize you. So if I recall, he had a hypnotic property in the film. Gripping or grasping hands, perhaps this is for holding the candlestick. And then these two pointing hands. And with these hands, you'll notice he has elongated fingernails. Unlike the other ones where the nails were short, with these, the fingernails are long and pointed. Good detail on the knuckles as well, the way they just kind of stand out. Here's your candlestick, which is actually kind of funny. It's actually just cheap plastic, but get that in focus, or try to. There we go. You see they put this cotton on there to look like a flame and smoke coming off of the candlestick, which is a nice little touch, actually. And then Dracula's cape, which is not wired. It just drapes, but it opens way up. It's actually rather excessively large, almost bat-shaped here. although it does have a wire in the collar for stiffening the collar up. But you see how big this is. It's like Batman's cape here. And an additional head sculpt with a different portrait. And I guess this is the "I'm going to hypnotize you" portrait. And you see again almost kind of glass eyes. I doubt that they are glass, but they do have a gloss to them that makes them stand out. And again, this hair is not as flat as the hair on the other figure, but I can still see the seam, but it's not as bad. So they did a better job on this sculpt, I think. And I'll show you here also if I pick him up. You see that? So that's what holds him up. But look at the flatness. I don't know. I don't know how well it's translating into the camera, but I think they did a better job with the hair on the second sculpt. But that's all right. We'll test his articulation. Actually, we can go ahead and test changing his head out if it'll let me here. It should. I see. Look at that. The whole neck plug came out. See what's down in there? That's interesting. So that's why it has that extra joint. So that extra joint you're supposed to put in here so that you can plug the head in like that. And I'm guessing that there is a real basic body under here. So side to side, cocking not so much, up and down is pretty good. It feels like he can do a torso crunch, but there's an obstruction. But he leans back pretty good. Side to side is also restricted. Clothing has a snap closure there. And yeah, there's a real generic body under here. See if I can open that snap without hurting him. I'll button that back up. It's a vest with a little chain. There's nothing in those pockets except for the chain. Arms to about right here, and then they're obstructed. Actually, there's a lot of obstruction with the arms. They don't really want to move around much. Feels like they go backwards better than they go forwards. They go way back, but then when you try to get them to come forward, they get stuck, and I think they're bunched up because of all the clothing. The shirt, as you can see, comes all the way through into the cuff there, and then when you pull this back, you can see the discoloration of that forearm, because again, it's just a generic body. So yeah, a lot of double jointed elbows anyways. There are double jointed elbows, so you can look really crazy like that, but the arms don't want to come up, and I'm pretty sure it's because of all the thick clothing. It's just restricting it. Common problem. Splits obstructed by the clothing. Forward to about right there, so he can't do a silly walk. Ministry of Silly Walks will be very disappointed. Double jointed knee, in case he needs to put one in somebody's groin. Pants, Velcro fastener. I'm kind of surprised because I expected another snap since the shirt and the vest have snaps. I'll put his fly back up. There is a pocket, but is there a pocket, or is that just a break in the seam? No, it doesn't seem like he has functional pockets. I don't know what you would put in Dracula's pockets, but if you had to, I think you'd have some problems. Belt loops are open, but there's no belt. That's interesting. These buttons are stickers. It's a plastic adhesive, and this one is falling off. You see that? So I'm going to have to watch out that we don't lose this. The shoes are actually lace-up shoes. There's actual functional grommets with laces that are run through and then tied in a knot at the top, although he has no socks on. As a matter of fact, it looks like the shoe is the foot. So that's all one piece. There's no foot in there. The shoe is just plugged in. Let me try a hand change out. I had trouble with that head, obviously. So that comes right off. And then hand change out is real easy. Okay, that's better. So there you are. The Bela Lugosi Dracula, and he has his autograph on the little base there. So let's get him posed up, and we'll be right back with the Bela Lugosi Dracula in somewhat of a pose. And it is limited. Again, his costuming prevents you from being able to put his arms up very high, and these long tassels, I just kind of tucked them under his arms on the cape, because, you know, if you tie those in front of him, it just doesn't look right. He's got all those big knots in front of his neck, and it's like, what are you doing here? The other thing is, with the coffin, you might want to pose it with the coffin open, but when you do, the lid is so heavy, see, that it starts tipping over. It's when you open it up, and I guess maybe the weight of the figure is supposed to hold it down, but the figure's not that heavy. This could fall over, and you can't stand it on end either without support because of this simulated ring. So there's some concerns with that. Overall impressions?
Overall, just looking at it straight on, like right now, it looks fine. The issues I have, starting with the coffin, I like the coffin, I like the look of it, but I wish those rings moved. That would be a nice added touch if the rings moved. And like you said, if you open up the lid, and you said, oh, I want to pose it with him standing by it like he just cut out, it won't stand on its own. It's too heavy. And then if you say, well, I'm going to do that anyway, that lid after a while can pull on these hinges. You know those hinges aren't like the best. You didn't get them from Home Depot. They're like great hinges. So the weight of it could pull that apart. So that's a concern that you might want to think about.
Yeah, you'd have to stick something under this bottom edge to keep it from flipping.
Or you can lean it up. Because sometimes you'll see a coffin and it's leaning up like this. With it open,
you might can prop it somehow.
Yeah, and then with it open, it might not be so much stress on these hinges. But I don't know. But just laying there like this, it looks fine. It looks like wood. It's that little simulated looking wood.
Yes.
On to Bella. I think it's a nice face sculpt. The hair looks, I don't know. It looks like a doll. You know.
From the hair, yeah.
Yeah.
The hair looks like a Ken doll,
yeah.
But then the face sculpt is brilliantly done.
Yeah, the face sculpt is good. I mean, I'm almost sure those are not glass eyes, but the way it's painted, it looks like glass eyes. So I like the face sculpt. The clothing is nice. The cape really does something to it. I wish they had somewhere to put these, like you said, the ties.
Yeah.
Cause
It doesn't look right when you take them, because especially as long as these are, if you were to wrap them around his neck to tie it off, it
looks ridiculous.
It stands out too much.
And I seen like others where they had like a button here or like a little chain that goes from one side to the other. That would have been
that Big Chief Studios John Pertwee is like that. It's got the little actual hooks.
Yeah.
We had a hard time with them because he had a great costume, but the hooks were real, so it was difficult to unfasten them without damaging them.
So I wish they had something like that, because now you're gonna have to figure out something to hide that string, which once you figure that out, it's fine, I guess. It's a nice figure to add to your collection if you like that horror vampire thing going. I think it would be nice. Would I say it's on a scale, maybe like a 5? I'll give it a mid-range, because looking at it now with your eyeballs and not on the computer, it does look kind of cheaply in a way in some instances. And then when you hold it and you handle it, like when you hold and handle the head feels it doesn't feel solid. Like you hold other companies and their head sculpts, it feel heavier, it feel like it has more substance. That feels like a doll head. So it's just like little tiny basic things like that, but I do like it. I wouldn't get rid of it. I just wish that it was a little better quality. They did a good job fooling me with this inner part here.
Yeah, because it looks like it's supposed to be
like a satin or a silk bed lining,
and it isn't.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see something here really quickly, because I'm sure someone's going to ask.
Oh, he don't. But you can bring him down some. Oh, you got to change out his arms, his hands.
Well, not only that, he's not going to go all the way in, because his
elbows.
Yeah, his arms. He's too wide for the coffin.
Oh no!
I just thought of that.
Hold on, take off the.
Take away the cape.
Cape, so you can say, "Oh no, we took away the cape." Oh wait, it's.
And watch that, because that button is falling off again.
Okay.
See right there.
Yeah, I see. I'll fix that.
Just make sure.
Some glue.
And yeah, he doesn't fit.
Oh yeah.
You got to really kind of stuff him.
And
to get
you don't want to do all that.
Yeah, you don't want to wrestle with him. So
his arms don't lay flat, lay straight. You know what I mean?
I'm trying.
Now he all sideways.
If he's at an angle.
That ain't right.
Now I can get him in there. You gotta like work him in. You gotta pull the old Undertaker trick and break a couple of bones. And he fits now.
No, I mean, you went through the trouble of giving us a coffin.
Bella.
You could have made it an inch wider.
They could have.
All it needed was about an inch and a half wider.
They could have put a layer of fabric in there. Just to
give it some padded.
For what this thing cost, they could have put a layer of fabric in there instead of like plastic.
Well, the plastic doesn't bother me now as much as he doesn't fit in the coffin.
Yes.
I mean, we had to literally finagle him. You can see.
He's in there like at an angle.
He's in there sideways. Who gets buried like that?
Oh, you never know. There are a lot of closed casket funerals out there. They gotta close the casket so you don't know they stole all the jewelry.
But they could have gave that casket. They could have made it an inch and a half wider, because you could see if this elbow could go down, he might be able to lay flat.
Not even, just a couple of centimeters.
Yeah, I mean, But I guess they say, look, you're not putting that figure in that coffin. You're supposed to stand him next to the coffin.
Yeah, I guess.
And then call it a day. Now David broke his arm. His arms look broken now.
No, it's just the angle.
I
But
know.
again, my critiques with it is again the head. I think they got real cheap with the paint, and I don't like that I can see the seam. That
David
seam
is a big seam man.
Yeah, that seam it just jumps right out at me. All I can see is seam now. The arms are obstructed. I mean, okay, it's all right that it's got like a generic body under there because you're probably not going to strip him. He's not going to be shirtless Bela Lugosi here. But I'd like to be able to raise his arms up or something, but the costume obstructs a lot of the movement. Otherwise, the costume appears to be decent quality. That the hand and face sculpts are decent. I'm impressed with the shoes, even though they're not really, there's no real actual feet, but the fact that they actually went through the trouble to put grommets and laces and tie the shoes is impressive to me. I like the stand that the magnets are holding him in place, because most of the time you get one of those ball hugger stands, and I hate those because figures are top heavy and they fall over.
One thing I did notice,
Yeah.
if you lay the coffin on a flat table like this, you open it up, it doesn't tip.
It does a little better.
Yeah, so maybe it's this
maybe it's
lazy
still a
Susan.
little-
I mean, still, I wouldn't want to leave
Yeah.
it like this for 6
Those
months.
hinges will wear out.
Yeah, 6 months later, you come down to your room, and then the lid is on the floor. So
You know what's funny?
What?
It probably would have been cheaper if they had, because where these are being manufactured, they probably could have made an actual wooden box for less than that, than it cost to do this. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But anyways,
No, but like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe I probably will give it a 5. I don't totally dislike it. I just wish that it was a little better quality
Sure.
for the amount
because
of money paid.
Yeah.
I would have wanted and expected a better quality figure and accessories. But like I always say, if you standing 10 feet away, you look across the room, you see it posed, it's gonna look beautiful.
everything looks good from 10 feet away.
Exactly.
Or with like a professional studio photographer taking pictures for the catalog.
Yeah, you got all kind of lights and smoke and mirrors. It's gonna look fantastic.
Yeah.
But when you get up close and you start handling and dealing with things, then you start seeing the issues. But I don't do all that. This is all of the handling it's gonna get. It's gonna go on the shelf at some point, and it's gonna be lovely.
Yeah. So, hey guys, what do you think of the Bela Lugosi as Dracula from Infinite Studios? Is this something that you would want to get? Would you bother with this? Do you think it's too much? Too expensive? What do you think of our critiques of it? Do you think that our critiques are warranted? Hello, Bella. How you doing? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. We hope that you did. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. All that good stuff. And if that's it, then what more can we say but thanks for watching. And we will see you again soon.